And welcome back to Open Studio. Happy Wednesday night, everyone. How are you guys doing? Thank you for coming by. We are trucking right along. I'm going to cough a little bit, but finally getting over this cold. It was fun. Well, when I say fun, it was nasty, but we made it. We made it. So we're going to keep going. I left this building right here. So that's kind of where we're kicking off. So I'm just trying to get my head back in the game here. These windows came out crappy in this one. I kind of want to fix those first. All right, so that kind of opens up my soapbox for tonight. And one of the questions I get, I'm just going to start painting. So what I'm going to do is this little guy here, I'm going to clean him up just a little bit while I'm talking. So the soapbox for tonight, I was thinking about this during the week, and what I get a lot is, one of the questions I get a lot is, do you use magnifiers when you're painting? Magnification, some sort of magnification. And the answer is no. And I'm fortunate that I have pretty good eyesight up close. It's garbage far away. I have to wear glasses. But up close, it's good. It's good. So the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because the decision to not use magnification is more of an ego thing. It actually goes against what I always talk about. Like I always say, use whatever tools you can to get the best art, right? Don't limit yourself by, or I shouldn't say limit yourself, because it's okay to limit yourself. If you want to say, okay, I want to just use a paintbrush. I never want to touch an airbrush, or I never want to use a palette knife. It has to be completely 100% paintbrush. Well, that's your art. That's what you do, and that's cool. Does it make it more superior than someone who uses those tools? Definitely not, in my opinion. If you challenge yourself and you pull it off, that's a really, really cool thing. But that doesn't take away from what other people are doing. If they use a tool that maybe you feel isn't, for you, it doesn't take away from their art. And I always stress that all the time. So if you follow that line of logic through to the end with my work, I don't use magnification out of a kind of a weird sense of pride in a way. Like I like that I don't need to use magnification to get this stuff this small. It's fun to tell people, when they ask, to say, yeah, no, I just do them. Would they come out better if I had magnification? And actually, I believe they would. And the reason why I know that is because watching this with you right now, you guys are magnified. You guys are super close. You're right on this thing. And when I watch it with you guys, I'm like, for instance, this building, I'm like, Steve, you could have done that a lot better. If you really could get in there and see like you're seeing now, you could fix that. You could make that better. And that got me thinking about the whole thing. Why are these different than those? They shouldn't be. The heck? See what I'm talking about? So that was kind of what I was thinking over the week. I'm like, wow, that's funny. I talk about, using whatever tool does the job best all the time. And here I am not using the tools to make the job the best. So does that mean I'm going to use magnification at any point? I think probably not. And if you want the super secret future view of what's going to go on here, I can see myself not doing miniatures as I get along, because my eyes aren't going to hold out forever. I can feel that now. They're just like, I get really tired after working on a painting like this, for the day. And it affects my eyesight. It takes time for me to readjust to looking at the normal world after working on a painting like this all day. And it was never like that when I was younger. Your eyes, your whole body bounces back. You know what I mean? When you're younger. So I can see a point where doing this kind of stuff is more detrimental. And I keep in close contact with my eye doctor, and my other eye doctor before I moved here basically said, yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors by doing this kind of work. So, keep great light, take regular breaks, that kind of thing. But yeah, you're not doing yourself any favors. So knowing that, I could see myself at some point switching to larger paintings on a regular basis, which is what I did before. So, so it's not, it's certainly not a tragedy or anything, but yeah, that's kind of the way I see it going somewhere down the road. I don't know when. There's no plan for that. I mean, my eyes are going to tell me what to do. If I really run into, a lot of fatigue issues and all that stuff, I don't want to live like that. So, the painting is important, but it isn't that important. So, I could find other ways to paint. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what I was thinking for the soapbox tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna fix this whole thing because this is kind of trash. And it's right again. It's right at the edge, so people are going to be on this thing looking at it. They're going to see this. They're going to be looking at this. So this guy and all these ones down here really need to be pretty good. So we'll clean this one up first, and then we'll kind of move on to the rest of them. There's another bank of windows underneath that one too. I'm still working on the shake, the Visionaire shake. Unfortunately, again, I don't blame Visionaire because no one who builds Visionaires were thinking that this is what it was going to be used for. So they get a pass. I just gotta, like I said, I gotta add a couple legs on the side of this so that it doesn't shake. It's not single point anymore. It's got the base and then the legs on it on the sides. That'll straighten everything out. That'll tighten it right up. But I keep forgetting to grab some aluminum tube when I'm at the hardware store. That's all it's going to take. It's going to take 2 pieces of aluminum tube. I'm going to flatten the end on one end, drill a hole for the Visionaire screw. And then on the other end, after I measure it, I'm going to put rubber feet on it, and they're just going to go on the side of the Visionaire and then make contact with the table that it's sitting on, and that's going to do it. Because 3 points is going to solve that problem. It's going to make it really solid. And again, for me, wait, what am I doing here? Am I looking at the right building? I don't think I'm looking at the right building. Ha! I am not looking at the right building. Oh boy. All right, it's not a tragedy. Oh God. All right, I'm going to put the, you're going to be looking at the correct building because I do all that after in the editing. I put the reference image up for you guys. It's not, it's not on the screen for me, but I'll put the correct image on there. So you guys have been looking at the correct building for the whole time. And if you are who I think you are, you're screaming at me that I'm painting the wrong building. It's not bad though. It's not bad. It's not a total loss because the building I was looking at was pretty close to this one. So how I said, oh, the windows keep going down. Well, they don't on the building that I'm supposed to be painting. So I just gotta kind of adjust and erase. Why? It's time for new paint on this palette too. Yeah, this paint is just about had it. Just about had it. Okay. All right, so let's fix it. So this is my little penthousey building. So the window's got this little thing here. Those are cool. Yeah, those windows aren't even there. What the frick was I thinking? Great. Again, I usually, this is no excuse, but I usually record these in the morning, like first thing. Like I get all motivated, and I'm like, I'm doing Open Studio. So, there's no coffee in me, and I'm just kind of flopping around. So when I start them, it's like, who knows what's going to happen. It is a what could go wrong thing. All right. Back to it. So we're going to erase a little bit by painting over. So grab some white here. Yeah, because these windows don't even exist down here. Yep, they're not even there. Crying out loud. It's like some gray squares, but I mean, there's no windows there, so that's better. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like, this is the satellite dish right here, this guy right here, and I thought that was a satellite dish, but it's not. This is another building or some on the roof of another building or whatever it is. All right, that's good. All right. So the building I thought I was painting is the one we're going to do now. I'm going to let that dry. That's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. I did need to clean up those windows anyway. But yeah. Okay, so this next building has got some gray to it. I mean, it's a lighter gray than the background, which it is. We're working on this building next. This one right here. So. So what else we got? What else we got on this fine Wednesday? All right, I think that's going to work. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. These two lines were junk last week anyway. I knew I was going to have to fix those because it was, it was getting near the end and I was flopping around again. So I knew I'd have to fix those anyway. Let's see. Is that light enough? Probably not. Oh, add some more white to that. That's not white. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, I got water in it. That's why. This part of the palette right here, this all looks white because it is white to you. Well, it looks white to you because it is white. But I filled the water in the palette and it kind of snuck out onto the top and it got mixed into here. So this area right here, the white is kind of trashed. It's got a ton of water in it, so I can't really use it. I got to swap this out again anyway. The parchment. How's this look? Yeah, this looks better. It's kind of a really, really light gray. Yeah, even this paint that I have here is kind of chunky. So I may not be able to use it, but we'll try. It's okay. Everything's okay. All right, same thing on the, I talked about this last week. I get zoned in, so sometimes it's easy to not really pay attention to all the other stuff that I've already done. So it's a really good idea for me to kind of lean back at times like this when I'm blocking in this building for real, to look at the angle of the other buildings, because all these buildings they look parallel, on the street or in relation to one another in the blocks or whatever. So I got to keep that in mind, because if I start getting all wonky, like I said, a little on a painting like this means a lot. If I if I bump something the wrong way, even just a hair, that's a mile in a painting like this. So I got to be careful not to do that. That looks good. Yeah, so this is the building I thought was this building, which does have windows all the way down. So there you go. Again, not a tragedy, and it happens all the time. I get just zoned in and it's like, oh, get this done, and then it's not what you're supposed to be getting done. Backside of this is goofy though. So there's that thing that we did last week. The top of this building. Do I want to airbrush it in? That would be the smart move. Yeah, let's do it. This is gonna dry anyway, because I gotta put another coat on it. Even it out. There's a hair in there. That sucks. The heck, dude. This might be underneath the paint. All right. Yeah, let's airbrush that in. You guys are too close to see me cut this out, but it's not exciting, and you've seen me do it a billion times. I'm just going to cut the roof out because it's got a kind of a neat L shape to it that I want to make sure if I cut it out, again, I talk about this a lot too. If I cut, well, I can cut it out on this, can I? Steve, don't ever put your cutting mat on the painting. Oy. Where is it? Move it over here so you can see it. So it's got this little L shaped right here, this building. So by cutting this out and just giving me that indication, I make sure it's right. I don't have to fudge around with it. And, it's like, I could paint it in and then screw with it for a few minutes to get it right. Or I could just airbrush it, know exactly where it's supposed to be, and move on with the painting. And I'm a big fan of that. Okay. How are we looking? Did I get through it? This little bump right here is part of this building here. So I'm going to leave that out because really all I want is the roof. Again, I say it all the time. This just acts as a roadmap. This tells me where that roof is. And it doesn't even matter what color I paint it, because I'm going to use black because I can just kind of fog it in, but it's going to get painted over anyway. It's just, again, it's just identifying that shape. So now I'll take, this little black, these two little black squares, this rectangular one and then the square on the roof, and those are what I'll use to line it up. It should line up with everything else, but if it doesn't, I don't really care too much. It does. See over here, it lines up. Well, you can't see because of the palette cam, but it does line up with all the other stuff. But even if it didn't, I'm just solely concerned with this building here to get this one in right. So I just make sure that's correct. Yeah, looks good. And I will check the upper. Yeah, wow, it is good. What do you know? Let's put a big magnet up above, which you can't see. That's kind of holding everything together. Oh, again, it's the first time I painted today, so it's just kind of a knee-jerk reaction. I have three of the brushes that I use most of the time sitting right here on the rack. And when I'm done at the end of the day, I clean them out and fill them with water and spray a little bit through it so there's water in them so it doesn't dry up. And they're ready to go. But sometimes Steve forgets to clean out his airbrushes at the end of the day, and he sits down the next day and there's paint in them. Sometimes dry paint in them, and that sucks. So there's always that moment when I grab a new brush for the first time of the day, like, oh, did I clean it out? This time I did. All right, so again, just really lightly over this. This roof is gray as well, but it's a little bit lighter, but I may be able to get away with not. Oh, that's awesome. I'm just going to leave it. That's perfect. That's kind of the gray. It's a little bit lighter in the photo, but I like it. I think it's going to work. All right. So now that roof is in, and what that also does is tell me that this white line is a little bit off the face of this building. So I'm going to fix that right now. So this I need that, pretty much that gray color. Let's see what we can do here. Yeah, that's it. It's probably a little bit dark. Okay. There we go. And again, I hope you guys have enjoyed the the ads for these. I've been having way too much fun with them. So I was a little bit hesitant on the sumo wrestler one to pull the trigger on that, but I did it. So, and it was one of my favorites. So the other favorite was the Iwata factory in Japan. That was good. Looking that up, that was the Google Street view of it. One of the sides. It's actually a pretty big building, but that seemed to be like the entryway into it. So that was fun too. And I was pleasantly surprised that a lot of people didn't see the painting tacked to the telephone pole out front. Everyone just thought it was a picture of Iwata. So it's become like a Where's Waldo now. Of course, the sumo wrestler one was pretty obvious. Tonight's was pretty obvious, but yeah, I am having too much fun with that. All right, let's put some windows in on the sky. I think, oh no, I was going to give that another coat. Correct. Thanks for reminding me. I still have the color right here. Yeah, this cold was crazy. It just lingered. It was like slow burn to start. Like I started with just like this stuffy nose for like a week. And then it just, it was all congestion based, which was good, but man, it made it rough to sleep at night and all of it. And I know, okay, you didn't come here to listen to me complain about colds, but it's late September, and it actually rained today, which was nice. or last night, because we need that around here in Northeast Ohio. It's been like mega dry all summer. It's been crazy. Usually I'm mowing the lawn right through September, all the way into October. Mow the lawn basically right up until the leaves fall. But this year was not the case. It was like it just dried out, and that was it. It's just what I'm more used to in Massachusetts. In Massachusetts, you're done mowing in August. The lawn is dead in August unless you're irrigated. But yeah, again, did you come here to listen to me talk about mowing? But no, I don't think so. So let's talk about more painting stuff. This new schedule, again, I know we're deep into the new schedule here now, and I know, there's certainly some withdrawal from me, like not doing the Thursday live here on YouTube. I have worked extremely hard to continue to do that. It has been so tempting to just say, "Hey, I'm gonna jump on." But what's paying off is really what I'm getting done on the big pieces. Like at the time of recording this, I have the Ford painting all finished. The coupe is all done, and I'm making time on the Corvette painting, so that's really good. And those paintings, like the original the Ford truck painting, little 5x7, and I told you guys that thing hung around for years. I started that years ago, literally years ago, and it just kind of like it got stuck between everything else. Like I would work on it, but I'd do it for a live feed every once in a while, or I'd pull it out, when I had a little bit of a break or whatever, and it just took forever to get done, and that's not cool. I shouldn't have paintings laying around that long. So one of the things that was going on, obviously, around here was, there was a lot happening between commission work and the regular trying to get the social medias kind of ramped up, all the content there. And so what I was realizing was, yes, it was important that I got the content kind of sorted out for all these, for YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and everything. It was important that I kind of finally said, hey, okay, what do I really want to, get out there? What do I want to give people for this? So once I got that done and I was able to kind of like home in on it, I knew I had to like recarve time for those big paintings. And when I say big paintings, not physically big, because they're all miniature. The ones I just finished, well, nothing bigger than 8x10, but still that's on the small side for a painting when you look at average paintings. Anyway, but what it is it's like this one. It's not size, it's the amount of hours and effort that goes into producing them. That rectangle needs to be a little bit longer, but I'm liking where it's going. So that was really the thing. That was where I was kind of not struggling, because I was producing big work, but it was just taking too long. And one of the things I love to do is get into, like juried exhibitions and shows and things like that. And when you're not painting, you have nothing to show. So it didn't get to that point, but it was feeling like it was getting to that point. Like I was entering one painting in multiple shows, which is fine, but I was doing that because that's all I had. That's not good. That's not a good look. So yeah, so for the first time, like as of recording this, I'm getting ready to enter the Butler Institute of Art. I want to call it the mid-year, because that's their big show. They have a area artists show, so it's a show just for people within the area of Butler, and it's a pretty big area. I can't remember exactly. You can check their website if you're watching this in time. but it's basically if you're within the area, and it's a great show. It's a great museum. All right, so how many windows we got showing? 4 showing. So yeah, it's a great museum. It's an honor to be in there. I was lucky enough to be in the mid-year last year, which is their big show. So for the mid-year this year, I actually have too many pieces. I was looking at everything, and I'm like, what do you know? Like you can enter 2 pieces, and I have 4 that I could put in, and I'm like, that's what I want. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I don't want to be sitting here thinking, like, all right, I entered this last year or whatever, or I entered this in 4 shows last year, and this is all I got, which is where I was at. So the whole soapbox for that was just, I want to say thank you to everyone who is having growing pains with my readjusting. So especially the UK friends. They usually miss this premiere for Open Studio because it's 1 in the morning there. Is it 8, 4? It's 2. Yeah, 1 in the morning, Greenwich Mean Time. So that's I understand that's not a good time to be hanging out watching YouTube videos, but I will figure out how to get back on the more European based live stream or just content in general. So again, it's just a matter of working it out. This building's coming together quite nicely. Yeah, we'll get this building done in this episode, I think. This other thing is part of this building, so we'll jump on that one next week and just keep rolling across. We're almost to the edge now, which is great. That's a good landmark. Again, because the front side of this painting, the bottom side of this painting is the money. That's where all the work is, really. And you'll see it. Again, I mentioned it before. We get up into this part you can't see up above here. It's just, once we get to the river, I'd say half of this painting is pretty much in focus. And then the backside, on the other side of the river, it's just pattern. Which is great. Which is really great, because it's going to fly. Windows feel like they need to be a little bit bigger. I'm not terribly upset with them though. They came out good. Considering I'm trying not to rotate the panel, which I will, but sometimes it doesn't make for good video. So we're going to try to thicken these up a little bit. Just a hair. Oh. Yeah. This window's down here too anyway. I had to clean that up. Anywho. All right, good. Yes, well, just enough time to clean this up. Yeah, we got this one done. I know. And this is what we're talking about. I say it all the time. These paintings take forever, and I was really hesitant on choosing this one for Open Studio just because of the amount of work involved in it and what this could be by the end of it. But again, I think when it's all said and done, and this one's all in the bag, and it's however many episodes it took, I'm going to be super happy. I'm just going to be happy that I did it, that it's all, really all documented. What I'm really excited is if, when it comes to the time where this painting is finished and collected, someone feels they need it, they're going to have the entire front to back, every single minute of this painting being created. They're going to have that as well as the actual painting, which is, I don't know any other artist that does that. So I'm super, super happy with that. All right, so we are there. So let me switch you guys out to the full view of this painting so far. And as you can see here, we are getting there. We're moving across. So I'd like to thank you all for hanging out with me. Wednesday's becoming one of my favorite nights, along with Monday. If you enjoyed this, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe, and you can even share it with someone you think also might like it. And if you want to support what we do here, in a more tangible way instead of the algorithmical way. You can do what these lovely people have done, and you can become a member on Patreon or Facebook. I'll get it right, on YouTube. And you get a discount at the store, and you also get early access to the time-lapse video. So that's what I got. All right, kids, have a great rest of the week, and I will catch you guys next Wednesday. Have a good one.